The purpose of the High Weald Energy Day at Ashdown Forest has been to engage primary school children from four of the most local schools to teach them about different energy sources and different ways of getting sustainable energy from the natural environment, and to think about energy from the past, the present and the future.
You made this. You made fire.
Does anybody know what kind of wood this dome might be made of?
This water will heat up quicker or slower than a normal kettle put on an open fire. Clipboard, there's notepads, rulers.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18.
Today we've all been learning about sustainable energy, and we've also been teaching a little bit about sustainable energy. My particular role has been about the use of trees for fuel. So just behind us we were felling some silver birch trees. And showing children, well, first of all, how you fell a tree, what species they are, how you count the rings so you can tell how old they are, and then what do you do with the wood. And all the buildings here were all heated by the very sort of trees that we were felling. So it's giving children an idea that wood is very much a sustainable resource, and it's a resource that's incredibly widespread within the High Weald where we are now. An old tree that has been coppiced has been clearly used at some time in the past, and fuel would have been one of the reasons why it was used.
Cut the trees when they get to a certain size, and then they grow back. So it's like a crop. So they're always regrowing.
See several trees coming out of one stump, that's a coppice tree.
Yep, so if you see a stump like that, and it's got more than one stem, more than one tree growing out of it.
So it's really exciting for children from around here to see it. And when we asked how many have log fires at home to keep them warm, a surprising number put their hands up. So I think they, they've seen the whole process from a tree standing up right through to the logs that heat these buildings being burnt in a big burner just to my left here.
We've tried to set up a standardised experiment whereby we experiment with 3 different fuels, charcoal, birch twigs and oak twigs, and see how long it takes each fuel to light 2.5 pints of water. And the evidence that we've uncovered today in a fairly reasonably controlled and standardised experiment is that birch heated the water in the quickest time of 4.5 minutes.
We did an experiment where we had to see which source of energy lit the fire and made smoke come out first, and we did charcoal, but charcoal didn't exactly work very well.
1 strike should be enough on the cotton wool. There you go, we have flame. Children are isolated so much from risk, from the natural environment, and yet all of these processes that are going on around us are essential to our own well-being and survival. So as a way of getting them into the outdoors, so to speak, and engaging them with practical hands-on activities, they can really get a sense of those processes that sustain us, while also exploring risk in a safe and managed way.
We started it a couple of days ago, and the hazel is something that we coppiced from nearby, only a few miles away, on a coppice that is managed by the Ashdown Forest. And at the moment we're just building like an enormous great big basket that acts as a framework for the house. It's about 5.5 metres across at the bottom and something like 3.5 metres tall, and that's the framework. Then once we've done the framework, we will and also with the children today that we've been working with, we're adding a layer of heather at the bottom, which is acts as a bit of an insulator at ground level. And then we will bank soil up against that, and then on top of that we will then apply a coat of the reed, which is going to be the waterproofing and insulating material that's going to keep most of the weather out, and on top of that another layer of insulating heather. So it's kind of a little house by our standards, but quite a big house, I think, by Mesolithic standards, that may have housed a family, quite a big family, maybe even a couple of families, if they'd lived here and built houses like this in the Mesolithic.
Hold it. If you hold it like this, so
It helps people get a sense of place, so when they move around and look around, they get some better idea of how we've come to the point in our history that we are now. And also when we look at the landscape, we have a much better understanding of why the landscape is like it is. And it's a great way of fleshing out this word environment as well, I think. It's a really fantastic way of getting people to have ideas about their environment and then about how their ancestors lived, and to get a real sense of where we are as humans, as a species, and how long we've lived in this country, and get a real link into how people lived in the past.
Yeah, and that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be having a go with this bow and arrow. Right, and you can see the arrowhead there is made of flint. You can see on the end there. Oh, very close, not bad.
When I get back to school, I think I'm going to tell them about how they used animal bones and antlers to make weapons to take down prey that they could eat, like antidotes and deer.
Lee? Oh, that's right. Your iPod. Wow. See your iPod. Bit harder, bit faster.
Okay, who wants to know if they've won the quiz?
In the Future Zone, children were engaged in a recycling game.
And then, yeah, explore. I'll give you a clue for number 2 as well.
Students from the Skinner's School were helping the children discover more about renewable energy sources.
When we set out to make the solar thermal panels, our aim was to build something that was both efficient but also sourced from renewable and sustainable sources and cheap and easy to build. Our aim was to take waste products such as the back of a fridge and combine it with scrap bits of wood and put them together to make this solar panel.
It's reading 28.1.
And really it was just a bit of ingenuity from staff and pupils working together in a team to build something that can demonstrate other sources of energy beside fossil fuels.
Put the stick back down there.
My favourite activity was making the windmill because I learnt about wind energy.
Well, this event's important for 2 good reasons. The first is it allows our pupils to go out and engage with primary students and teach them about renewable energy.
Does anyone know what we're using at the moment in England to make electricity?
And the second is working with the High Weald AOMB unit. They've been really the catalyst for this whole project.
I think for the teachers, some of the biggest benefits that we provide are free resources and free opportunities to do activities outside the classroom that perhaps they wouldn't normally be able to do.
It's given them the opportunity to actually have hands-on activities, not just in the classroom. It's actually got them outside and they've really had a chance to understand what's happened in the past now and how it's going to affect them in the future. I'm going to take a lot of information back from our High Weald Day here. We're going to let the other children know about what we've done, report back and come up with an action plan on how we can start using some more of our reusable energy sources within the school and how we can save some of our non-renewable sources.
For ideas and resources on how to run your own energy day, go to www.highweald.org. Click on the Learn About menu, select Schools Learning Zone, then click Education Resources.